Hello friends, welcome to Home Tutor. This is your personal teacher, Nipan. Let's go to the topic. Today we are going to discuss part 6, that is some important dates in French Revolution. 6 important dates and events are discussed in this session. So let's check what are those important dates. 1774, Louis XVI, become King of France, faces empty treasury and growing discontent within society of the old regime. The member of Bourbon dynasty became the King of France, that is Louis XVI. He was welcomed with a gift, that is an empty treasury. Literally, there was not a single livre to take. The extravagant life of former kings of France and continuous fighting war resulted in an empty treasury. Also, 1774 saw the period where the people of France was dissatisfied and started to protest the despotic rule through revolts, revolutions, and in the countryside during the old regime. You already know what is old regime. Old regime is a system of government and society that prevailed in France before 1789. Another important date is 1789. This year is very important. Convocation of Estates General, Third Estate forms National Assembly, the Bastille is stormed, peasants revolt in the countryside. So a body known as Estate General was formed. You already know what is an Estate General body and who are the members of Estate General. The people of Third Estate choose prosperous and educated members of Third Estate as representative of National Assembly for framing a constitution for France. Then again, the Bastille, which is a fortress prison run by the state government in France, an exact example for despotic rule, was stormed by revolutionaries in France. So these are the three important events that happened in 1789. Another arouse or another feeling that arose in 1789 was the peasant revolt. The peasant in remote village areas started to revolt or formed groups of revolutionaries to protest against the despotic monarchical rule. Then comes 1791. This is also another important date that happened in the history of France. A constitution is framed to limit the power of the king and to guarantee basic rights to all human beings. The king's power is limited and comes under the control of the National Assembly and the Estate General, and he will be abide by the constitution. The Constitution of France guarantees the right to all human beings. These are the two important events that happened in 1789. Then let's look into another year, that is 1792 to 93. France becomes a republic. The king is beheaded. Overthrow of the Jacobin Republic. A directory rules France. So France is now recognized as a republic, that is a nation. The king is executed by guillotine. We have already studied about the history of the King Louis XVI in part 1 of the history of 9th standard children, and please go through that parts so that I will get a continuity, and also we have given all these things in detail there. So the king is executed by guillotine. You already know what happened to the king. The king has entered into conspiracy, and it was proved, and finally he was guillotined. The Jacobin Republic was overthrown, and a directory or a body of French citizen rules France. Another important date is 1804. Here Napoleon becomes Emperor of France and annexes large part of Europe. So Napoleon Bonaparte conquered most of the world, and he was famous. He was a famous artillery commander during the French Revolution. So in 1804 he became the Emperor of France and had acquired a large part of Europe under his rule. Next important date is 1815, that is the defeat of Napoleon. Napoleon was defeated at Waterloo in Belgium. He was defeated by some of his allies, that is Britain, Austria, Prussia, etc. So we have discussed some important dates here. Please go through all these dates, and if you have any doubts, please go through the parts we have discussed in detail. So continuation of this chapter will be on next video, that is in part 7. So please watch, like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much.